What's going on YouTube? JT is Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic reviews. And in this video, we're going to be talking about DC K.O. issue number 3. This one is written by Scott Snyder, Joshua Williamson, and artwork by Javi Fernandez. And this is the big third issue in this event here with the King Omega tournament going on, with rules that don't really make much sense. But basically, if you watch a lot of my other videos, we had the big fights to see who would ending up in like the Elite 8. And basically, we had our winners, and those winners were Wonder Woman, Cyborg, the Joker, Guy Gardner, Zatanna, Aquaman, and then Superman and the Joker, right? Did I get everyone? Who am I asking? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, oh, and Lex Luthor, geez. So, but basically, because of this next round, the heroes get to choose at least one person who was on a previous, of a former champion who fell within the tournament as their ally to defeat their opponent. So everyone gets to choose one, except for the Joker. The Joker gets to choose whoever he wants in reality because he has the most Omega energy, which I don't understand the rules and regulations. Like, so Joker's allowed to cheat and gets away with that. Joker somehow possesses the most Omega energy, just despite Superman possessing like Darkseid's like Omega beam powers or whatever. Like, how do you measure all that? Where does it all come into play? Can somebody at least do a better job elaborating these rules? Because it just feels like everything is just kind of made up as it goes along when it comes to this tournament. And I don't know why the Joker is still even in here. At least Lex Luthor is smart, intelligent, and he's got his mecha suits and all that too. Joker should have lost to Jason Todd. In fact, he did, but then he did something to kind of restart his heart or whatever. Joker being able to beat Jason Todd in a fight was just ridiculous. And Joker is still like moving on in this tournament as it progresses. I just don't understand it. But yeah, so Joker gets his, like, it's him and his partner, which at first seems to be the Batman Who Laughs, and then turns out to be Mixie Spitalik against Zatanna and Constantine. For whatever reason, Joker keeps moving on in this thing, and it's just absolutely, like, ridiculous. But yeah, so it's Guy Gardner. He chooses Hal Jordan. Superman chooses Shazam. Lex Luthor chooses Supergirl. And then Aquaman chooses Hawkman. And then we have Wonder Woman choosing Big Barda. And then Cyborg chooses Connor Hawk. And then we have Zatanna choosing Constantine. Joker has the mystery partner. And each round, kind of like, the fight scenes are fun. I like the way kind of like Supergirl at one point is like, wait a minute, you expect me to help you? And then they just all team up to kind of start beating up Lex Luthor, which is pretty fun. But then he hits her with some like red kryptonite to kind of make her rageful, and a few other things to kind of make her go against everyone else within the tournament, which I thought that was kind of a clever way for Lex to kind of like sneak his way like out of a victory. Zatanna, for whatever reason, can't beat the Joker despite having Constantine to help her, which I just think is just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, they utilize magic and all that too, but I still think that Zatanna is just made to look really pathetic in this tournament. Like, she barely survived against Harley Quinn. They just made her look like I said, weak and pathetic within her fight. And then once again here, I don't get it. Like, the disrespect to Zatanna needs to just, I don't know, it just was kind of annoying. I don't really see a scenario where Joker would have won. Yeah, he has Mixie Spitalik, but Zatanna's faced off against all sorts of threats throughout the multiverse, and that she should have done a better chance against him. But because Scott Snyder clearly loves the Joker, he's going to push him on to the next round. I guess Joker is kind of like the Frieza of this tournament. Like, if you think compared to like Tournament of Power, but even then, Tournament of Power made way more sense than the King Omega tournament, because the Heart of Apokolips just keeps making stuff up as it goes along, which is kind of funny, I suppose. But it's like, oh, these are the rules. But not really. Who cares? Whatever. I just want to see the Joker win, I suppose. I don't know. It's kind of dumb. But we'll get into the next round. And I swear to God, if it's Joker versus, like, Superman, I'm just going to just pull my hair out. But it has to be Lex and Superman. Those have to be the two that face off in the finals. It's just the one that, it makes the most sense to me. But who knows what we'll see in the next round. That's where I'm kind of more excited to see based on the ending. I mean, all that considered, there are some fun action bits within this thing, aside from, you know, Zatanna losing. But yeah, so Cyborg, he chose Connor Hawk, and you're wondering, like, why is he going to choose Connor? He's going against Wonder Woman and Big Barda. But Cyborg's reasoning was he wanted to absorb his kind of fighting abilities and like knowledge of it all so he can incorporate that into himself, because Connor Hawke's a very gifted fighter. Okay, interesting turn of events, but okay, so they get into the fight. It doesn't fully work out for him as he ends up losing. Joker ends up moving on to the next round. Superman uses the help of Shazam, and he seems to be kind of defeated at one point, but because Superman is aware of Shazam's ability to transfer his power to other people, he asks him to do so, and we get Superman Shazam fusion, and this thing looks really cool. And you get the look on like Guy and Hal were like, oh shit. But then again, Superman ends up winning with the KO there, and then we get our 4 champions: Wonder Woman, Superman, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. So, and then it seems by the end of the issue, they're going to go face-to-face with versions of the Absolute Universe, which I think is pretty exciting stuff. I mean, Booster Gold's in there. Now, we've seen Booster Gold before in some of the other issues where he was possessed by Darkseid, or maybe that's him inhabiting it, and they're going to face off against them in the next issue. I'm not sure how it's going to fully work, though, because like we have the 4 remaining champions. They got to face off against their absolute counterparts, or they're going to have to work together to move on to the next round, or they're just going to keep extending it. Who knows? The rules are kind of made up as they go along, but really, aside from the Joker thing, this was a pretty fun issue overall, as long as you don't really think about like how the rules in that make sense within this tie-in or title or whatever it is. There is fun to be had. I think Superman fusing with Shazam was pretty cool. Lex Luthor's way of winning by using Superhero, who at first is like, I'm not going to help you, and then they start beating him up, but then he kind of uses like his brain power to kind of turn Supergirl against them, even though Kara's been proven to be resistant about some of this stuff. But at least it was kind of a smart, interesting way with Lex using his brain to have a Kryptonian ally to fight against them. I thought that was kind of creative in that too. And then Joker using Mxyzptlk. I mean, Mxyzptlk is a very powerful character within the DC universe, and I guess he was given free reins to choose whoever he wanted. And you know, that is a challenge I could see against Zatanna and Constantine, but she's smart enough to get Mxyzptlk to say his name backwards. But who knows? Joker ends up moving on. Hopefully he doesn't get any more ridiculous power-ups in this tournament, because it just, the fact that he's this far along just leaves me scratching my head. But again, Scott Snyder loves the Joker, and Josh Williams, I think he's a popular character, so of course they're going to drag him along for this thing. But I don't know. That's just me. I don't see Joker as a good fighter or anything like that. It doesn't really make too much logical sense. I mean, you know, Joker's a character, agent of chaos and all that, but he's not a fighter. It just, now they try to add like retcons in that years later. It's like, oh, he was trained by all these martial arts masters or whatever. I'm like, no. Joker is an agent of chaos, a clown, prince of crime. He should not be the gifted fighter. His thing is just his spontaneity and with his crazy plans to outwit Batman and that. But like an actual physical fight, Batman should easily kick his ass, and so should all these other trained fighters. Well, because he thinks like crazy, like you can't really determine his fighting moves or whatever. I'm like, what sense does that make? Like, if I didn't go through all this, like, I mean, then by that logic, somebody like me, who's not like a trained mixed martial artist, who doesn't really know how to properly fight and all that, should be able to take down Batman. I don't know. It's comic books. You just kind of have to roll with it, but I don't know. I just feel like Zatanna got the short end of the stick in this thing. Also, poor Aquaman, like, they really started building him up throughout this thing. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, he goes down. I guess just don't bring in Hawkman. I mean, why would he bring in Hawkman? Hawkman kicked the shit out of him within the first 2 rounds very easily. It wasn't even like a 3-round fight. So why would you choose Hawkman? You have all these other characters you can choose from, but you choose the guy you beat clean in 2 rounds very easily. I don't know. That's just my thinking of. But at least there were some entertaining fights that went on with the other characters. So we'll have to wait and see what happens next. They're bringing in the Absolute Universe characters, but I think it's just kind of variations of them. I don't think it's the actual versions. And that has me pretty excited because, you know, I've been enjoying Absolute Batman. I haven't read the other Absolute titles yet, but I do intend to very soon. And yeah, we'll just have to kind of wait and see what happens from there. So I guess that'll be it for my DC books this week. I did check out the latest issue of Aquaman because it said a DC K.O. tie-in, but it really isn't. Like, it feels kind of misleading. I don't know if I should cover it because it's not really one of the comics listed that says DC K.O. tie-in. The only tie-in says that Aquaman's in the tournament. That's about it. Meanwhile, like, Mira and that are fighting some other underwater stuff, and because I'm not like caught up on the rest of the Aquaman run, I think I'll probably just skip it. So I mean, again, it's not one of the titles listed, in the checklist or whatever, it says tie-in, but the only thing is Arthur is off in the tournament, and it just says that very quickly. Cuts to like, here he is. So everything you need to know is in this book. So I think I'll just skip that one. I did want to check it out just to kind of see, but again, it's not really like a true tie-in per se. It's very misleading. So this is it for the DC books for this week, I suppose. Unless you all want me to cover the latest issue of Aquaman, let me know in the comment section down below. But yeah, this issue overall, fun stuff in there for sure. A few things that kind of frustrated me, and just still trying to like wrap my head around I guess how this tournament functions and all that too. And again, it's comic book, it's fantasy, but when you just keep making up rules as you go along, it kind of takes me out of it just a little bit. You got to have some sort of anchor, and if you do set some guidelines in that just to kind of throw them out the window for some characters, and for others just to kind of push them to the next round, it doesn't feel as well organized. It feels kind of sloppy, to be honest. But again, it's a cool concept, getting the characters to kind of fight each other in some tournament, and I'm a sucker for these sort of arcs and like animes and all that too. And yeah, there's some cool stuff in here for sure. But I think because of the whole, like, I think they need to explain things a little bit more, flesh some of the concept of the tournament. Like, how does the Joker get the most Omega energy? Is it because he cheated? Well, what about Superman getting, like, the Omega Sanctum or whatever it's called? Like, Darkseid's, like, Omega Beams or whatever that he inhabits is, like, his artifact item or whatever. But then again, like, why does Batman get punished for cheating but the Joker doesn't? You know what I'm saying? A few things. And also, like, even looking at some of the other rounds, or how was Wonder Woman able to get, like, the other Amazons to help fight her battle against Lobo beforehand when it should just be a one-on-one tournament? Here, this round makes sense because they're supposed to pull champions from who have fallen within the tournament. Okay, that makes sense, like, why they're in this thing. But then, like, for other reasons, like, it doesn't really add up too much to me. So, you know what I'm saying? There's some things that are taking me out of this thing, but, you know, it's still fun, and it's got some entertaining action. I thought Superman Shazam was pretty cool. But, yeah, I mean, overall, as an event, I think KO's been pretty solid for the most part. But there are some things that are holding it back. Namely, like I said, the way the rules of the tournament and all that just feel like massive contradictions and all that too. And the fact that some characters who really shouldn't be, if you like objectively thought about it, like further along in this thing, are somehow like there, like the Joker. I still think that's just ridiculous, the fact that he's this far along in the tournament. At least with Lex Luthor, he's the smartest man around. He has his technology to kind of aid him in battle, and we've showcased his mind, and he's such a genius and all that. But Joker, nah, I just don't see it. But what do you all think? Are you enjoying this event? Do you think it's a little overbloated? Do you think some of the things are taking you out of it? Are you excited for the Absolute Universe characters to show up? At least this versions of them. I'm excited for that because the Absolute titles have actually been outselling the main universe quite a bit. I mean, DC's got a hit on their hands with the Absolute Universe, and I think that's cool. I think it's good for comic books to have things that are selling well and well received. So we'll see what happens as the Absolute titles continue to develop, and where this next issue goes, because the ending was the most exciting part for me. Aside from Superman Shazam Fusion, I thought that was pretty sweet as a fan of that concept. So, but yeah, Superman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, and the Joker. We'll see who fights next. I feel like they're going to have the villains face off, and they're going to have Superman and Wonder Woman face off. I think that's the more logical step for the next round. I'd be kind of surprised if they switched it up to like where you have hero versus villain. I mean, I don't know, because I feel like Lex and Superman would be the final round. That just, to me, makes the most sense given the way this event has gone and given their history with each other. Joker and Wonder Woman would be kind of interesting as a finale. That to me is like the most least likely thing to happen. And then Joker versus Lex Luthor. I mean, I'd rather have Lex Luthor in charge over the Joker. That I don't see that as the finale in this thing. It just feels like it's got to be Superman and Lex Luthor because, I mean, we just got off the Summer of Superman. They're kind of the two main leads in this thing. They have the most history and all that too. And it just feels like the most natural thing that makes sense to kind of do within the tournament. But, you know, never know. They might do something interesting with it all. They have a dark horse winner of it all. I don't know. I don't see... Maybe Scott Snyder do something ridiculous and have the Joker win, but hey, who knows? I just don't think that would make sense to have it happen in this thing. But, again, they may do something crazy with it. I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see. But, anyways, what did you think of the issue? Post your comments down below. Be sure to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, hit the bell for notifications, all that fun stuff. And, I'll be back with the next video, whenever that may be. As always, take care now. Bye-bye then. Peace out, and I'll see you later. Sayonara.